Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. First one is from a major city, main city in the Amhara region. Alarming news from this city. I'm talking about Gondar city. What is happening in Gondar? No major attack by Fano fighters in Gondar city in the last few weeks. But it seems that security situation in Gondar is deteriorating. Which gangs are operating in Gondar city? Are Fano fighters operating there? Are some gangs, some criminal elements operating in the name of Fano? I have received exclusive information from Gondar city about some incidents which are not being reported in local media, national media. Secondly, viewers, Egyptian entry into Somalia in different sectors, not just in military sector. Ethiopia watching very closely Egyptian expansion close to Ethiopian borders. Yesterday, Egyptian and Somalia's officials met. What did they discuss? Firstly, viewers, Gondar city. This news is from the heart of Gondar city, from inside Gondar city. I was contacted this week by a family, and they told me about their ordeal. Their family member had been kidnapped for almost a week, for more than a week. The man remained in the custody of abductors. The abductors demanded a ransom, 300,000 birrs. Ransom was paid for the release of this man. Still, the abductors did not release the man, rather, they killed the man. Name of the victim is Abdul Karim, a trader, uh, unmarried, financially stable. That is why he was abducted. Ransom demanded, family members somehow raised money. They paid the money to the abductors. But the abductor said that the family had contacted police. That is why they killed Abdul Karim and they dumped his dead body near Dashan beer factory in Gondar city. Uh, Police did not do anything. The man has been killed. This is not the first incident involving kidnapping for ransom. I then contacted other people too. They also confirmed that in Gondar, kidnapping for ransom is on the rise. And families, victims' families don't contact police because if police is contacted, the abductee is killed. Sometimes police comes to know of the incident, police tries to intervene, but police, it seems, is ineffective. Who are the abductors? Are they Fano groups, Kimmat groups, local armed groups, criminal elements? It's not clear, but we cannot blame Fano groups because Fanos are not in control of Gondar. Gonder is under the administration of Prosperity Party, military there, militia members there. So it's the government which should tell the people who is behind this new wave of kidnapping for ransom in Gondar city. Government silent, no statements, people suffering in silence. Either they are paying ransom silently, they're not contacting authorities, or they don't have anything to pay and their family members are getting killed. We are hearing the same type of reports in Oromia too, where we know that last week rather, sugar factory workers in Wanji were kidnapped by members of an armed group. 5 or 6 killed by the armed group. Why? Because the armed group said that police was involved, that the families contacted police. That is why the group killed abductees, victims there. Same is happening in the Amhara region. It's not just specific to one region, but we have been seeing, by the way, kidnapping for ransom in Oromia for months. In Amhara region, kidnapping for ransom is relatively a new development, I would say. Is it linked to the overall deteriorating law and order situation, security situation, or there are some groups like some elements in Fano which are resorting to kidnapping for ransom to finance their military campaigns? Too early to say, but I think people should be taken into confidence. It's the responsibility of local government, Ethiopian National Defense Force, to ensure that there are no gangs operating in Gondar city involved in kidnapping for ransom. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopia has long been trying to keep Egypt away from Ethiopian borders. Ethiopian authorities see Egypt as its rival. Whenever Ethiopian leaders say that external enemies want to weaken Ethiopia, most of the time they point their fingers towards Egypt. They say Egypt wants to destabilize Ethiopia. Egypt wants to stop good. It is backing armed elements in Ethiopia. It is intervening in Ethiopia through Sudan, etc. We know that Egypt has signed a security pact with Sudan's Burhan. It was signed more than 2 years ago. After that, Sudan's Burhan's forces took back Al Fashaga. Ethiopia could not stop Burhan because Ethiopia was fighting a war in northern Ethiopia. Federal forces and Tigray regional forces were involved in 2 year long war there. Then Egypt tried to establish a military base in Djibouti. Ethiopia thwarted this Egyptian attempt. And after Hassan Sheikh came to power, we saw that Egypt expanded its presence in Somalia. Bank Misr, Egyptian bank, was given operating permission in Somalia. I think the bank is going to open its branches in Somalia in coming days. And recently we saw some meetings of African Union peacekeepers. Their commanders met. By the end of this year, African Union troops are going to leave Somalia. And in post 2024 Somalia, Egypt could have military presence in Somalia. Egyptian troops are not part of this African Union mission in Somalia, but Egyptian officers have been seen in Somalia holding meetings with African Union peacekeepers. Maybe Egypt could replace African Union troops after 2024. Egypt is working on constructing a military base too in Somalia, military base for Somalia's forces or Egyptian forces, not clear, but Egyptian military contractors have been spotted in Somalia. Now, another development showing the expansion of Egyptian presence in Somalia is that Egypt Air is considering direct flights to and from Mogadishu. Yesterday, Egyptian and Somalia's aviation authorities officials met in Mogadishu. Talks were held, and after that, it was said that Egypt Egypt Air could start direct flights to Mogadishu. It could happen in coming weeks. Talks have been held, some understandings have been reached. Egypt Air's entry into Somalia is coming at a very crucial time when Ethiopia Somalia relations are not very good these days. Ethiopian Airlines is facing difficulties in Somalia's airspace. One Ethiopian flight was denied entry into Hargeisa, Somaliland, a few weeks ago, and some aviation uh, experts and some aviation websites reported about an incident in Somalia's airspace when an Ethiopian airline plane and a Qatari airline plane narrowly missed a collision due to wrong instructions passed by Mogadishu based air traffic control. Ethiopian if Ethiopia Somalia relations don't improve, if Ethiopia Somaliland implement the MOU, maybe Ethiopian airlines will be banned in Somalia. In that case, Egypt Air will fill in the vacuum. That is why talks underway between Egypt and Somalia. Talks held, some decisions have been made, reported. Thank you.